Hello, YouTube gamers. It's good to see you again. I didn't think I'd be making another Season 5 long-range meta video, but they did a surprise update and nerfed the UGM again, so here we are. But getting right into it, I don't actually have one gun that I think is the absolute meta. I have 3 ARs that I really like, which is the Cold War Vargo, the Cooper Carbine, and the UGM that are all really solid, and I think all 3 compete for the meta. Yeah, my favorite of the 3 is the Cold War Vargo, mainly because of the bullet velocity. It has amazing bullet velocity, which is its biggest advantage over the Cooper and the UGM, which have very bad bullet velocity. Its biggest weakness is it doesn't have the 3-6, obviously. But yeah, it's really solid TTK, great bullet velocity, and very minimal recoil. Make sure you run that specialized speed grip because that helps with more of the horizontal recoil, because this gun has an S-shaped recoil pattern that will minimize that S-shape and make it really beefy mid-range. It's not the easiest to use gun long range, but it's definitely viable and usable at that long range, and it's amazing mid-range. And I just really like this gun. It's really satisfying to use, really fun to use, and definitely my number 1 right now. But you can definitely use the Cooper and the UGM because they're just as strong. They just have slightly different strengths and weaknesses. My number 2 is the Cooper, which is kind of like an AR version of a UGM. Its biggest weakness, just like the UGM, is bullet velocity, and then damage per mag is another really big struggle in this gun besides the bullet velocity. It really struggles at that long range sometimes. Like, I'll notice when I'm on 6x trying to beam someone, I'm hitting my shots, but if they have like Serpentine, I commonly will run out of ammo. But specifically on the Cooper and on the UGM that I'll show you, the reason I run bipod on both these guns is because they stack with the stock, both the stocks that are the meta stocks on these guns, the 45W and the Enclave stock on the UGM, they read recoil when mounted, crouched, or prone, and that's the same thing the bipod does, and this value stacks on top of each other. So when you run both of these and you crouch, it is just, they're both absolute beams in terms of how little recoil they have. So yeah, I really recommend running bipod in that stock on the Cooper and the UGM. It's really solid, very minimal recoil. Like I said, biggest weaknesses are the bullet velocity and the damage per mag, but it has really solid TTK, is very minimal recoil, and I really like it. I like to run, these are my top 2, the Vargo and the Cooper. My number 3 is the UGM still. UGM is very solid. If I'm looking for like the best long range beamer, I'm probably going UGM just because I really like that 3.25 set on here. It has the damage per mag that the Cooper doesn't for long range. The reload speed and bullet velocity are bad, but it's definitely still a really solid beam, really solid option. This was my meta before they nerfed it. It's still really strong. Like, you could definitely use this and do amazing. I just prefer the Vargo and the Cooper just for that AR mobility and reload speed and ADS. We're running Mercury to keep our ADS speed better. Like I said, we're stacking that recoil with mounted, crusher, prone with bipod and Enclave stock. I prefer 3.25. You can run 3-6 if you want. Standard build, if you run Combat Scout, run taped. If you don't, run hatched. I'll be showing you amped builds here. That's why on like this, I'll have the hatch. On the STG, I have the Pine Tar. But if you are Combat Scout, I recommend taped. On the Cooper, you cannot run taped because there's the bug with stocks, like on the Cooper, on the Bar, on the Itra. If you run any stock on these guns and try to run taped grip, the taped swap speed will not go into effect, so you'll still be slow swapping. Just on the Cooper, just run rubber, just run amped with the Cooper, unfortunately. But like on a lot of these other Vanguard guns I'll show you, I do recommend running taped if you're in Combat Scout, because Combat Scout is insanely broken. I'll show you real quick why I like the Vargo so much is because of this. These are my top 3. The Vargo, you can see that bullet velocity is just so much better. The UGM has really bad bullet velocity. Same thing with the Cooper. The UGM has really good bullet velocity, which makes it way more consistent when you're shooting people in the air at those like longer ranges. Even though you don't have the zoom, you have the bullet velocity. So yeah, specifically my top 3. Show you the TTKs real quick. UGM, you can see, kills the fastest mid range, and at long range they're pretty much identical. And then you have Cooper in green, and then Vargo in orange. Vargo and Cooper kill basically the same speed. Vargo has a little bit better damage range, but you can see they're all extremely similar long range. Still very similar mid range. UGM wins that battle a little bit, but they're all very similar guns, and they're all amazing. You'll do great with all 3 of them. Into my number 4 slot, I go with the STG. This is like, if you're looking for like a gun that does not move, Iron loves this gun because it's so easy to use. It's like, this is a really solid long range option that's not going to kill fast. This gun's TTK is not great. I'll show you real quick. It's the slowest gun on this list, I believe, long range at 1,000. The only gun over 1,000 I'm going to show you. Just because I don't really like recommending guns with this low of TTK at long range, but it has no recoil, pretty solid bullet velocity. You're gonna hit your shots basically. This is the gun where if you can't hit your shots and you're looking for a gun that has very minimal recoil and you're just looking to hit your shots, I recommend the STG. Really solid. I like bipod. If you don't like bipod, go Carver. This is the same build I showed last time. Solid gun, solid option. I don't run it much personally because I am high skill enough to run the high recoil options. But like I said, if you're looking for a zero recoil beam, definitely go STG. Like I said, if you're running amped, run Pine Tar. If you're running Comet Scout, run taped. Moving on after that, I have the Automaton and the Grau. The Auto is kind of like a slightly higher skilled version of the SCG. It kills about the same speed mid-range. It kills a bit faster long-range. I'll show you real quick. You can see mid-range, the SCG and the Auto are the slowest, which I don't love the Auto because I can use stuff like the Cooper and the Vargo and be better at that mid-range where a lot of sweaty gunfights happen. You can see the Auto is like actually the slowest. It's A63 versus 827 of the SCG, but it is a bit faster than the SCG, 949 versus 1006. It's still not fast, but it's a bit faster than the SCG. So if you're looking for something with really, the main advantage of the Auto is damage per mag. Because I have that 75 bullets, you're not really going to run into ammo at long range if you're hitting your shots. You'll always be able to get that down at long range, which is where the Cooper can struggle. So if you're looking for a solid mid-range options with high fire rate, solid bullet velocity, and not a ton of recoil, it's definitely is more than the SCG, but not a ton. It's all vertical, so it's really easy on controller just to pull down. Definitely recommend the Auto. And then the Grau is like kind of like the MW version of the STG, where it's just like it's not going to kill the fastest. It is faster than the STG. It's faster mid-range and faster long-range, faster than the STG and the Auto department. Obviously, its biggest weakness is you don't have that 3-6. But the reason these MW guns, I love these MW guns so much these days, is actually the bullet velocity on these is all amazing. I'll show you the list of full bullet velocities real quick. And why I really like MW and Cold War guns is you can see the Grau's bullet velocity is just phenomenal. Like I missed playing high bullet velocity guns because I got so used to the UGM meta and the Cooper. And it's like, you can see they're all the way down here. And it just sucks trying to track people long range sometimes. Running these high bullet velocity guns like the Vargo and the Grau, they just feel so nice just to be able to put it on people and not have to worry about leading. And it's really, really nice. I'm able to beam with these guns when I land on people. Like when you take a balloon, like if I take that balloon in Arsenal and I'm trying to shoot someone top squares I land in, it's really easy with guns like the Grau and the Vargo. And the Grau doesn't kill the fastest, so that's why I recommend the Vargo over it. If you look at the TTKs here, see the Grau's 927 at range and it's 769 versus the Vargo 747, and really the Vargo shines at long range. The Grau's 927 to the Vargo's 838 that I showed you earlier. The Vargo is much better long range than the Grau, but it's another really solid option if you're looking for a high bullet velocity, low recoil gun, and you're looking to switch it up with some MW guns. After that, I have Whitley and M13. Whitley is insanely fast TTK wise, but it's definitely, the recoil is not really there. That's why it's more of a mid-range gun. I don't love it long range. I just can't hit my shots on 6x. It's too horizontally bouncy. But it is the fast killing gun, I believe, on this list with the UGM. You can see it's 681, 674 with the UGM. Has great damage range at 48. And then it's really, really fast long range at 810. Fastest on this list long range. It's just you're really going to struggle to hit those shots at long range because 6x is not easy on this gun. That's why it's more of an honorable mention for me than a meta option. It's not on my top 5. But like if you want a really, really solid mid-range gun that is going to delete people mid-range, like you will incinerate people, you'll be surprised how fast they die to this gun. And it has much better bullet velocity than the UGM. It definitely has more recoil than the UGM, but if you're looking for like kind of something that kills as fast as the UGM, but has insane bullet velocity, definitely recommend trying out the Whitley. You can see it's the third fastest on this list, and the UGM's all the way down here. So it's kind of like the more recoil, higher bullet velocity version of the UGM. Definitely not as good because of recoil, but it's really, really fun and solid if you close the gap and get in that mid-range. After this, I have the M13, which does kill faster than the Grau, but it struggles like the Cooper with damage per mag. It's still be like the MW version of the Cooper, where it has great bullet velocity unlike the Cooper, and it kills fast mid-range, and it's long range, it's like 906, so it is a bit faster than the Grau, but it really struggles with damage per mag, which is its main, and obviously you run the 3-6 because it's an MW gun. That's where I would really only run this gun probably in solos and duos. I wouldn't run it in trios and quads because the damage per mag is definitely a bit of a struggle. The Cooper, I feel like it kills fast enough to justify using it in trios and quads. You just got to play cover and reload a lot. But this gun, like, I would definitely run the Vargo over this gun in trios and quads just because that Vargo is going to kill faster and have better damage per mag. So yeah, M13 definitely a fun option for solos and duos. Really high fire rate, makes it really consistent. And after that, my last two, I threw the in the XM4 just because I know a lot of people like it, even though Vargo is a better version of the gun, is the Kilo in the XM4. The Kilo, kind of like the Grau, kills. It's like the STG where it kills it's over 1,000 milliseconds at range, which I don't love it, but it has great bullet velocity, very minimal recoil. I think the Grau's a better version of this gun because it kills faster, has literally the same bullet velocity, and has basically no recoil as well. This gun technically has less recoil than the Grau, but it's pretty similar. They're both really easy to use. It's just another option if you're looking for another MW gun to run that's just like fun to use, and it just kills the long range. That's why I don't love it. And the XM4, I know a lot of people have been recommending this gun. Sparrows really likes this gun, but the Vargo is literally a better version of this gun. The Vargo kills faster, has less recoil. The only thing the XM4 does better is damage per mag, which even then, the Vargo is actually pretty competitive when it comes to damage per mag. Because even though it shoots faster, it kills fast enough to where it's like offsetting that. So even though this gun shoots faster than the Grau, it actually has better damage per mag, I believe. I could glance at it really quick if we go over here and go average rounds per magazine. If we look here, the Grau is 4.87, and then the Vargo is 4.93. So even though the Grau has a slower fire rate and the same amount of bullets, the Vargo has better average rounds per magazine because it is just killing faster. The Grau is like 927 versus the Vargo is 838. So even though people like the XM4, the Vargo is literally just the better version of this gun. You can still use it if you want. It's still solid mid-range option. Like the Vargo is just better. But yeah, that's my top. I believe that's 10 ARs. Like I said, Vargo Cooper, I really, really, really like. I like the UGM. I like the SGG. SGG, I don't use as much because I'm a higher skilled player. Like I said, if you're looking for that really, really consistent option, I recommend SGG. We got Auto Grau. Grau's another really solid option, kind of like the MW version of the STG, just like the Kilo. Auto is just another high fired option that's a little better than STG in some aspects, but a little worse than others. Whitley is that high bullet velocity UGM that has a lot of recoil. M13 solos and duos, and then Kilo and XM4, just some honorable mentions. But yeah, that's about it. I should have the SMG video up soon whenever I record it. I'm lazy. But yeah, definitely recommend the Vargo and the Cooper and the UGM. Those are my top three. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all soon for the SMG video. All right, goodbye.